So here's the Budapest diagnostic criteria, and they have been around for a while and are a great step up in terms of being more specific when you're making a diagnosis of CRPS. And the important things here are to remember that there are 4 criteria. The first one is that the pain needs to be disproportionate to whatever it was that started the event. And so this is in understanding as a clinician how you would expect somebody to respond after a Colles fracture or an ankle sprain or a knee arthroscopy. Is this in keeping with what your normal expectations would be, or is the pain really out of proportion with that event? The person must report at least one symptom in 3 of the following categories. And when you examine the person, you need to be able to demonstrate signs at that time in 2 of those categories. So the first one is around sensory testing. So hyperalgesia, which you would utilise pinprick for this, and you're looking at an exaggerated response to pinprick, so that it will feel very sharp when you compare it to another part of the body where there is no CRPS. Allodynia. So allodynia is when there's a painful response to a stimulus that shouldn't create pain. So that might be light touch. I use a paintbrush, you can have allodynia or hyperalgesia to cold sensation, heat sensation, also some somatic pressure, so just applying pressure to a part of the limb with CRPS. Vasomotor symptoms are where there's a clear temperature asymmetry from one side of the body to the other. There might be changes in skin colour, and there may be asymmetry in the limb with CRPS. The pseudomotor and edema changes, so obviously edema, sweating changes, so the limb might be more sweaty or it might be dry, and there's an asymmetry that occurs across limbs. The motor or trophic changes you're looking for are a decreased range of motion, maybe weakness, occasionally but rarely tremor or dystonia, and also some of the later signs of CRPS can be trophic changes in skin, hair and nails. The 4th criteria is possibly one of the most important, and it's also the one that is most often neglected by clinicians, and that is that there is no other diagnosis that better explains the signs and the symptoms. And I'll go into that in a bit more detail. So just to give you the update on the Budapest criteria, this was followed by the Valencia consensus adaptation of these criteria. And the important thing to say here was there were really only just very small tweaks made to definitions, but not to the actual Budapest criteria. So if you see that the Valencia criteria being used, it's pretty much the same as the Budapest criteria.